Hello, I'm Heather, and this is the Week 3 video discussion for American Entrepreneurship since 1900. This week's discussion is on telling the story of postbellum America, and this is the story of Lydia Estes Pinkham, an entrepreneur who invented and sold an herbal tonic called Lydia Pinkham's Vegetable Tonic for women's menstrual ailments. It was the first product successfully marketed specifically for women. Lydia Estes was born in Lynn, Massachusetts, February 9, 1819. Her father was originally a shoemaker, but during the War of 1812 he became wealthy after creating a salt works, giving him the money to invest in real estate. Her family was active in the abolitionist movement, the temperance movement, and the women's rights movement. She graduated from Lynn Academy and took a keen interest in remedies for medical ailments. Lydia married Isaac Pinkham in 1843, and the couple struggled financially. To make money, Isaac sold some of the land the pair inherited after Lydia's father's death to the railroad company, who laid tracks near the family's home. At the time, railroads were expanding, which would lead to a national market and an opening for entrepreneurs like Lydia Pinkham to sell their goods nationwide. Lydia had 4 children who survived into adulthood. Aside from being a homemaker, Lydia was very active in her community. In our reading this week, Sod Busting: How Families Made Farms on the 19th Century Plains by David B. Danbaum, we learned about communities in the Great Plains. Settlers carried their traditions and customs with them. They recreated neighborhoods and kinship networks. While Lydia did not need to recreate these networks in Massachusetts, she used traditions, customs, and her kinship networks to help support her neighbors. Due to her education, she was often helping to nurse her sick neighbors, and she continued to collect remedies that combated illness. She kept these remedies in a notebook called Medical Directions for Ailments. Her remedies became popular, and she would give them out freely to her neighbors. The Pinkham family was doing well financially in the real estate business until the Panic of 1873. The stock market crashed, land values dropped, banks closed, and people began to sell their investments, including investments in real estate and the railroad industry. To make ends meet, Lydia began brewing the vegetable compound in her kitchen in larger amounts and selling it to her neighbors for $1 a bottle, or the equivalent to about $26 today. In 1876, Lydia patented this formula and named her son William the legal owner of the business, as he was the only one in the family who was debt-free. In 1878, Lydia moved into a new building and the business began growing. In 1879, Lydia registered the trademark for Lydia E. Pinkham's vegetable compound and copyrighted a label which included a picture of her. Lydia personally wrote many of the advertisements in the company, and she would also write back letters to the women who wrote to her asking for help. She believed that women understood their problems best. In her book on ailments peculiar to women, she writes, "Some things can be best and most freely spoken of only by women to women." Lydia Estes Pinkham died in 1883 after a stroke, but her business continued to thrive and advertisements continued to use her likeness. By 1895, the vegetable tonic was advertised as being unequaled in the history of medicine and sold from Maine to California, with thousands upon thousands of grateful women writing to the company to say their ailments had been cured. The tonic was available in pill form and was able to be shipped across the U.S. by rail. The family sold the company in 1968, however, we are still able to buy her supplements in tablet and liquid form today. Lydia Estes Pinkham's story reflects the larger demographic shifts in postbellum America. Industrialization and railroads enabled entrepreneurs to be able to sell a product across the nation. Products and advertisements were able to be moved across social boundaries. Lydia was able to improve the lives of women, selling a product made by women for women. She showed entrepreneurial spirit and was able to provide a product women needed to better their everyday life. Thank you.